Hey, what's good, y'all? Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be talking about the Suns, mostly Kevin Durant and the Suns. I feel like the Suns they were a solid team last year. Made it to the playoffs. Obviously didn't play well in the playoffs. They are missing a bench. They're missing, what's their center's name? Yusuf Nurkic. He literally offered them nothing on the offensive side. I'm not saying he should be someone who scores a lot. He shouldn't be a scoring center. But when Bradley Beal was out with injuries, Book was out, Durant was out, you got to find some scoring somewhere. And he has the ability to do that. Grayson Allen, he wasn't that consistent that last year. He played fine, but they needed more from him. So hopefully this year, with another year under their belt, they can learn to play together, learn how to figure things out. So the question is, are the Suns a more complete team now for this season? Personally, I think so. They had some time to gel. They picked up a couple pieces. Overall, I'm not really worried about the Suns. But also, on the flip side, as a Lakers fan, this will be a hard team to beat, just in general already. But looking into the playoffs, you'll see they just got a lot going on. They do got a lot going on. I think that Devin Booker can obviously go off at some nights. You also got, of course, Kevin Durant, one of the best and most gifted offensive players that we have ever seen. Bradley Beal, he will always be there to score and find a way to score. He's a great shot. They need a point guard, in my opinion, and I believe they got Tyus Jones. Yes, so they got Tyus Jones. I think that was a pretty solid pickup. He's a solid player, in my opinion. His whole job, pass the ball and get the hell out the way. And that's all he really has to do. I mean, that's what you need. Someone who's not going to take up too much quote-unquote ball time, but still be there and be available. Josh Okogie, he's going to play well. I do like Josh Okogie. He does all of the grunt work type stuff for them. Another year with Bobo, I think you could see. I think this is going to be his make or break year, in my opinion. Either they're going to move on from him, or they're going to, or he's just going to play well. I just think he needs the confidence. I think he needs reps. The problem is, can he be the consistent talent that we could see from him? We don't know. You'll see flashes of good stuff here and there. He has the ability to shoot the ball. He has the ability to dribble the ball. Maybe not as well as Wemby, but also we just don't know. I don't think we have enough in-game game film of him doing that to really say that and make it stick, honestly. So yeah, so those are just my thoughts on the Suns. I think that they are going to be better this year. The whole thing is if they can stay healthy, and if these three can gel. I think that was the issue last year. I don't think they had enough time to gel. Now they should have something, and their bench has been sort of filled out. They got Mason Plumlee. I actually like Mason Plumlee. He also does that like that dirty work, rebound, instant lob threat. So you have something there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started and see what they got to say.
Tyus Jones this offseason, so let's push it forward here, David. Do you think the Suns are now a complete team?
I don't know if they're a complete team because they have some defensive things they have to work on, but I do think that this team offensively has fixed a major, major problem, which is the turnovers. They just added Tyus Jones and Monte Morris. You know, those guys do not turn the ball over. Tyus
Monte
Jones
Morris as well,
best,
yes.
assist to turnover ratio that we've seen since they've started doing turnovers, right? So this team is going to be a lot better offensively. They were top 2 in the league with offensive efficiency when they just had those 3 guys playing without a point guard. So now teams are going to have to outscore them, and I think that their ceiling is as high as anybody else in the West.
Okay. I'm going to say what my mama used to say when I was arguing with her, which was, okay, Malika, so what?
This is probably one of the most important stats when deciding on what type of point guard that you're trying to find. Obviously, just like what was stated, the Suns have no problems scoring the ball and being able to find a way to score the ball. They got 3 bona fide scorers, 3 damn near 3-level threats. So it's like, what else did they need? They needed someone who is willing to pass the ball and willing to be careful with the ball. Kevin Durant, he is a scorer. He is going to find a way to attack. Sometimes that will bite him. Sometimes he'll see something and it'll just be a bad play, causing a turnover, causing a bad shot, causing a bad bounce off the bad shot. Now people are running off of the bounce. Some people aren't in a position. Fast break point just off of that. Same thing with Devin Booker. I think his mid-range, I think, is a little bit more consistent than Kevin Durant now. And he is one of those guys that can score. His only problem is sometimes he'll get a little trigger happy. And sometimes he'll drop 70 fucking points but still lose the game. Or sometimes he'll get 50-something and still lose the game. Is he the player with the most, like, dropping 40, 50 points and still lose? And still get a loss? I wonder. I'm going to look that up one day. Probably not going to do it now, but yeah. I think that'll be interesting. Bradley Beal, he was injured a lot, but also they tried to put him at the point guard role. I don't think he was made for that. Devin Booker, I don't think he's made for that. So they needed a point guard, and they got someone who will, A, not turn over the ball that much, or if any, and make good passes. Make really, really good passes. Yeah. Almost like what campaign should have been for this team. But I think that Tyus Jones is just a bit better. Well, actually way more better. So, yeah.
In a crowded conference, what exactly does a complete team mean for Phoenix, Brian?
I want to believe what Bradley was saying, and I'll also add that they were arguably the worst fourth quarter team in the modern era. So they won 49 games with Beal missing 30, playing horribly in the fourth quarter, so bad that I couldn't even explain why it was that bad. So they changed the coach and they add a point guard. In theory, as Beal was saying there, they should be a lot better, but I'm not sure I want to go in with this team because I did last year. I kept saying they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure it out. In the end, they did not figure it out. So there's sort of these couple of teams at the top of the West, these 3 or 4 teams, and then this bulk of teams that's together. I think they have a chance to emerge from that, but I'm going to wait until they actually do.
Yeah. So realistically, Wolves, Nuggets, there's a third team that I always forget for some reason. Like this Western Conference is actually pretty deep. The Thunder, Wolves, Nuggets, Thunder. Those are the 3 main teams that will, of course, be the strongest in the Western Conference. The teams, they have complete teams. They really do. Bigs have sort of came back into being pretty important. Every team has some sort of defensive anchor that has somewhat came back as well. Maybe not defense as a whole has come back, but the need for someone who can play defense has come back. I think that the Celtics sort of having two guards slash forwards that can play both sides of the ball. I think that was the main reason, and I think a lot of teams, of course, in the East have to try to like compete with that. So you need someone who can score as well as like defend more now, I think. Especially when you think of those, especially in the bigs, with the bigs. Chet, he has a little frame, but he's still a big. Jokic, big. Rudy Gobert, Cat last year, but Cat over in the East now. But you got a big. Even the Clippers. I think that the Clippers will be better this year. I thought they had a lot of way too many ball dominant guys and forcing a quasi ball dominant guy to be a point guard. I just don't think that works. I don't think, even though James Harden can play the one, I think he'd be better at that two position or playing like a Steph Curry one where you're just because of your presence, you are playmaking. Forcing people to shade more towards you when you do get the ball, forcing them to come more towards you so then you pass to somebody, then pass to somebody else, and then they score. So I think that is a role that he should be playing. And I don't think he should be mostly the one bringing up the ball. I think that should be someone else. With the Clippers. But anyway, I went off on a tangent. Zubac, he's a solid big. He'll give you 15 and 12 some nights. He'll give you 6 and 8 some nights. But he's there on defense to a certain extent. He tries. And I think you got that in the West. And that was 1 through 4 in the Western Conference as far as last year. These were the 4 best teams. So that is what's missing, of course, for the, like, as far as how offense and defense works this year. I personally think that we're going to see a lot more, I don't want to say a lot more low scoring games because I don't think like the referees give you a true chance like to play defense. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of crazy nights where people have 70 something and 50s and 60 and 70 on the same night. I don't think we're going to see as much as we did this year or last year because defense is a little bit more important this year, I think. That's my prediction. And I think we got Kendrick Perkins who got something to say. Fake Steph Curry keeps on looking at me. I'm finna slap that goatee off his damn face.
Am I picking the Suns to go to the NBA Finals? No, I'm not. Would I be surprised if they made it to the NBA Finals? I wouldn't, because they have the talent.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching. He ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing. He said, if they make the finals, okay, I'm not surprised. If they don't make the finals, I'm not saying that they're going to make the finals. That's a very safe way to be like, I'm playing both sides of the fence here. Personally, I don't think the Suns will make it to the finals. I will be surprised if they make it to the finals. I think they will continue to be what they have been since they made it to the finals that one time. I think they will be a great regular season team and a second round exit. That's what I think. I think anytime that you have Kevin Durant on your team and you have stars that aren't willing to give up the ball, I think this year Devin Booker is going to be better than that because I think they really need to understand what they have on their team. And I think a lot of people are saying that, Devin Booker should be like the first option, like the number one option for damn near everything. Could be. But you got Kevin Durant. You do. There should be no reason that they are one of the worst teams in the fourth quarter in crunch time when you have Kevin Durant, unless there was a coaching problem, which obviously they fixed that, and a personnel problem, which they improved that as well. So I believe in most nights, just like with the Lakers, just like with the Timberwolves, one person should be touching the ball every single time down the court. There may be times where Devin Booker will not get the ball. Kevin Durant should be the one who touches the ball every single time down the court. Doesn't mean he has to score it. Doesn't mean that he has to shoot it. He can bring the ball up. He should be a pass. And then, like, the decision guy, that's just how it's going to have to be. Because Kevin Durant has won something multiple times. Kevin Durant has been MVP. Kevin Durant has shown proof that he can be that guy on a team with other stars. Devin Booker hasn't. I don't think he should be shooting as much as he has been shooting. And I think that just needs to be fixed. And I think this team will find a way to work out after that. That's all I got. I will be posting a video tomorrow. Make sure you guys check it out. See you guys later. Peace.